Catherine and I'm here today with
Rachel,
Raquel,
and Alex.
Today we're doing a video all about being a newly qualified nurse, so keep watching to find out how it's like. Okay, cool. So guys, I want you all to introduce yourselves. You kind of have already, but I want you to say like what department you're on, what specialty you do. Yeah, so who wants to go first?
Can you have that side first?
yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm a qualified children's nurse and I work in NICU, which is neonatal intensive care.
I'm Raquel. I work in acute assessment unit and I'm an adult nurse.
My name is Marie Catherine. I work on a respiratory ward and I'm an adult nurse.
My name is Rachel. I was previously working on an acute assessment unit, but I'm going to be starting out on a hematology ward soon.
Okay, so question one. So I want to start from the beginning. So I want you guys to explain like how you even applied for your job and the whole process in doing this.
So the process was quite easy because I stayed in the trust that I trained in. So they kind of gave us the option to pick our top 3 wards that we wanted to work in. And then they tried their best to kind of allocate us to where we wanted to go. So I put down 3 wards and then NICU was the one that I put as my first choice. So there was actually luckily no interview process.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah. It was like, they said to us that there would be and then they kind of scrapped it. I don't actually know why.
Is it because you stayed at your trust?
Yeah, so like all external people obviously had to go through the application process. But then yeah, I literally was on holiday, got an email and I got the job, so
That was really good.
it was easy. But yeah, some people didn't get what they wanted though, but yeah, I was lucky.
So basically it was on the basis of if there are any like places there.
More or less, yeah, because some places like had loads of vacancies because they were really short and others like didn't.
I stayed within my trust as well, but I didn't know that my trust were gonna do like what your trust is. So I'd already applied anyway, so I was like, that's fine. Like I already went through the whole interview and everything.
Yeah.
So I think I applied like in February, got the job in like March, started in November, and it was alright. It was just a online interview because I had an exam that day, and that was it. Yeah.
With me it was a bit different to Raquel and Alex. I did not stay at the same trust, so I had to apply online, go for maths exam, and then if I passed the maths exam, then I had my actual interview, and then I'd find out whether or not I got the job, which was a bit hard, but yeah.
What was hard, the interview or the maths bit?
The maths bit. I feel like with nursing, I feel like because we were like COVID-19 cohort, it's a thing where when it comes to like drug calculations and stuff, okay, we've done it at university, but it was all online.
Yeah.
And I feel like the questions that you get when you were at university in comparison to being a qualified nurse is completely different.
100%.
Yeah, it's so much harder, so yeah.
With me, my story is quite similar to Marie Catherine's. So I didn't stay at my trust. I could have stayed, but it was very, very far from where I lived, and I wanted to stay at a trust that was close to where I live. Interview process wise, I applied for a lot of trusts. The interview, I didn't get it initially. And they I asked for feedback just so I know where to improve on my next couple of interviews. They had vacancies out again and I applied again because I really wanted it. And then I got the job second time round and started around November. This is my first post I'm talking about. Started around November and yeah, so it was quite tricky actually. We'll get into that later on.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. So I'm just going to take you guys back on your first day as a qualified nurse. So how did you feel like on your first day? We don't have to always stop.
Okay. Rachel's next.
I feel like, yeah, it was very, very much on the nervous side, but I was excited at the same time though. I felt like it was just going to be a new adventure, another chapter, finally done with uni, let's just get straight into it kind of thing. But yeah, that's literally how I felt on the first day.
I think I felt the same. I felt more excited than nervous. I was just excited for the new journey and to see how it would be like, and it's the fact, I was just thinking to myself like, I've gone through so much, especially in the final year, we've been through so much.
Final year was crazy.
It really was.
I was fighting for my life.
Really and truly. So I was just thinking like, all of this has led up to this moment, so let me just go.
I was really nervous because I was starting by myself. But I was the only one apart from that. After that, I was alright after that.
Yeah, I was kind of like excited and nervous, but like I'd done placement where I'm working, so like I knew quite a lot of the staff already, and I was starting with like a couple of girls that I train with. So I guess I felt comfortable in that situation. Like I knew my way around the unit and everything. But it's a different feeling because it's like starting a placement as a student and then starting like your first day as a qualified nurse. It's like, oh my god. Like even though you're starting supernumerary, it's like wow, like you've got so much more responsibility. But like you guys said, it's like a relief. Like I actually made it because those 3 years.
Yeah. Did you guys ever cry during your 3 years of uni?
Oh my days, definitely, so many times, especially February. No, really, that was it.
No. Cry about what? Placement?
No, just in general. Like,
in
you ever
general.
cried during the 3 years, like assignment, placement wise, or anything?
When it comes to assignments, I always knew it is what it is. I felt I'd do it again, and that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Fair enough.
It's true.
And maybe because I don't know, maybe I stayed at home as well, and I had like,
me too.
like family and it wasn't
yeah,
like
that's really
bad.
Transition from a student nurse to new qualified, like how did you feel?
I don't know. I feel like as a student it's a bit more, I'll say relaxed. Like you're meant to my late, you leave at 7. You can do these person's obs and they might be bad, but you show your mentor like they're the ones that now it's a bit like it's you that has to deal with it kind of thing. Like even if you're tired, you're staying till 8 or 8:30. Like you can't leave. So I felt like the transition a bit hard because it's like it's a bit more relaxed, a bit more lenient. Like if you didn't know something, it'd be alright. I think it's still alright now if you don't know something, but there's sometimes it can work for some people and they might be like thinking in their head like, oh, how don't you know that? But
I think the first week I felt like a student. I don't know why, but I went into student mode. I don't know, I felt like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell my assessor. I was like, oh, bro, like that's actually me. Like, there's no assessor anymore. You actually have responsibilities, and I feel like there's so many things that the assessor did, but you never realized. And now as a qualified nurse, you realize like, okay, so you have to do other stuff as well.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, so true. I think for me, the transition was very much like similar. I feel like the first 2 weeks was supernumerary, so for me it was 8 to 4, so it was half days. The first week was literally just like them helping us with just remembering the basic stuff and whatever, and then the second week was us being on the floor. I think being on the floor, I was just like, oh my gosh, like just looking at the nurses and seeing what they're doing, all independent and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be in that position. Because I was working alongside a nurse, I still felt like I was a student, but then when I was on my own, I was like, damn, it's not just because as a student, all you kind of do is basically write notes, kind of observe, walk around and whatever, but now I'm doing the notes, having to speak to the doctors, having to speak to the dietitians. If like anything is alarm with my patient, I'm the one that's got the responsibility to call them up. It's not like, oh, I need to go and grab someone so that they can call the doctors up and stuff. I need to consistently monitor my patients' obs and stuff. And it's like, even some people, like when you're working with certain HCAs, healthcare assistants and stuff, they won't tell you what's going on. So you have to make sure you're on job. Your responsibilities literally just soar up. And it's literally crazy, and I feel like that alone with that transition from being student to registered nurse is so tricky, and if you don't have support, I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's actually so true.
It's so true. I feel like, similar to all of you guys, like, I had, actually no, a bit different because I had like a week local induction, like training and teaching and stuff. Then I had, I think it was 1 week supernumerary working with a nurse. So again, like I felt like a student. And then after that, I had like, I think it was like a week and a half because I was off sick for a bit. But like working, like I had the patients, but like the PDNs, like the practice development nurses, were kind of like helping me or doing like my IVs or whatever that I couldn't do. And that was like good because it was like a slow transition. But at the same time, you're still like thrown in the deep end. And I feel like the same thing as you said, Rachel, like working with like healthcare assistants, even with students, like I feel like with the transition, learning how to delegate, I feel like I found really difficult because
I agree.
Everything is in your name. So it's like you can ask someone, like I'm happy to ask people to do like my obs or to do this or whatever, but it's like making sure they've actually done it. And sometimes when people don't do it, it's like you've always got to check, like, okay, this is done, because it all falls back on you. It's not like, oh, okay, like my assessor can sort that out or whatever, like everything is your responsibility.
Now, well, I started in October, but now is February, and I feel like only now I'm starting to realise how to manage my time more effectively.
I think that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
It takes time.
But I feel like, you know, when you see like other nurses and you see that they're doing well,
you end up comparing yourself,
and that's so bad.
Is there anything basically that you never knew that you had to do as a newly qualified nurse? Did you think that it was just straight on, like, okay, you've passed your degree, so now you just work straight away and then that's it? For example, like, the fact that we still had to get signed off for intravenous medication and do it with like loads of different people. I don't have to do it with my manager all the time until I done my e-learning.
On my final placement, I remember my assessor, she was so nice, oh my gosh, I miss her, but she was like to me how like when you start working, there's going to be so much training that you need to do. It's not going to be a straightforward thing. I started work, when they were talking about like IVs and stuff like that, cool, I knew about that, alright then whatever, cool. I didn't realise how intense the maths exam would be, and I didn't realise that you needed to pass everything. And then with the oral medications, I didn't know that we had to get signed off of that as well, alongside the subcut and intramuscular injections. I was thinking, oh, that's a bit weird because I've been doing that as a student, but obviously I do hear it. So yeah, and then obviously with just loads of training to do, study days and what, it's a lot.
Same. I feel like you answered
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I knew, because some people were telling me before, like, you know, you're gonna have this book to fill out X, Y, Z competencies. I don't know like how it is with you guys, but in P's we like double check meds. I don't know if you guys do that?
What kind of medications?
For like everything.
Even orals?
Yeah. We double check everything. It depends on the trust. I know some trusts like they don't do it with orals, but we double check everything. So like the process is to become like second check or first check or whatever. It's a really long process, and because my unit is so busy, like a lot of us are still in the process of, obviously orals done ages ago, but like all the IVs and everything that you do, especially in like neonates, is like a lot of stuff is sterile, like it's very particular. So it's like there's so many things to get signed off. Even simple like NG competencies, and it's like all this stuff like you said, Rachel, like we did before as a student. It's like you kind of regress a little bit, but yeah.
But you know what's so weird, yeah? I don't know if it's just you guys, but I swear like when we were students, they were like, oh, we're the newly qualified cohort, we can do this and that. So I thought that when we start working, it would be the same.
Straight into it and stuff.
Because they made it a thing where we can do cannulation. I think they couldn't do it before.
I couldn't, because in my pad, we had the old pad. I didn't have no NG in there, no cannulation. That was the old one.
No NG,
I didn't have no vena pectora, all that.
No.
And it had stuff about NG, but it was never how to put it in. I think even now, even if I wanted to do NG tube, even if I had it in my book, they wouldn't let me.
Yeah. Even I guess it's different because
I felt like I wanted that though. I wanted the old booklet. Not gonna lie, the new booklet. When I had another lesson,
was tough,
and she showed me it, I said yeah. Even though I had that 91 to sign, I was glad that it was.
What were your skills like? Were they more about?
It was just the old one.
Have you guys faced any challenges since working?
I'd say like short staffing and being put in like mad positions, like especially where, like I said, like if you have your own cohort, you work by yourself. If you've got like a safe cohort to have the patients by yourself, if that makes sense, you can be in a room on your own. I've been in that situation a couple of times where I'm like by myself with like 2 high dependency babies or like 6 special care babies, which are very low maintenance, but it's like still a lot because they're so like dependent, and it's like just basically like unsafe patient ratios. I feel like everyone's experienced that.
I think for me it's like, as you were saying, short staff, and it's like sometimes when you go into your shift, I don't know about you guys, but for me sometimes I just get a tinge of anxiety because like sometimes you just don't know what you're going to expect. Like that's how it is with the NHS, you just don't know what you're going to expect. Like social wise as well, I feel like I'm not very good at managing my social life and working life. Like as of now, like I've been like going out and whatever, but now I'm just nervous that when I start working again, I'm just going to go back to just being at home and just on my days off, I'm just going to be sleeping and stuff. But then even on your off days, you just have to push yourself to just go out and do something because I feel like this is life, this is the reality, and this is what it's going to be. So, but yeah, those are my challenges as of now.
Challenges for me, it was just a whole transition and finding my feet, especially working in a completely different trust. I felt like it was a struggle, and just familiarising myself with the wards and the people. We're on adult assessment unit, so you see different conditions, whereas mine was like extremely specialised to respiratory, and I never had a respiratory placement.
Do you feel like you learned a lot though, despite the fact that obviously there's some factors?
Yeah, I've learned a lot because it's like I've never had a placement like this either. So it's like I've learned something completely new.
Yeah, I like that question actually.
Plans for the future, do you know what you want to do in the future? In regards to like, it could be now, it could be like in 10 years time, it could be like your long-term goal, or it could literally just be like your goal for tomorrow.
I feel like right now per se, before I did have goals and stuff within the nursing career, but I feel like when starting the job,
It's a different story.
I said, God, it's a different situation that we're dealing with right now. So right now I'm just kind of just enjoying the moment for now, just enjoying what's going on, because I feel like if I make too many plans and look ahead, I won't be able to enjoy the now situation. If that makes sense. Obviously, I hear it like it's good to make a 5-year plan or 10-year plan or whatever, but I want to enjoy the now. Like I want to enjoy the nervousness, the anxiety, like me being a newly qualified nurse or whatever, finding my feet and stuff. And I feel like so right now it's just kind of enjoying this current moment.
I think that with myself it's very similar to you. I'm just going with the flow, but I also want to be somewhere where I'm happy and really enjoy myself.
And you enjoy the specialty as well.
Exactly. I feel like that's one thing that being qualified has shown me and taught me, is that it's really important to enjoy where you're working. It makes you work better. If you don't enjoy it, then I would actually totally leave, because you're not going to.
No. Because no. One thing I can say is don't stay in a place where you feel like you're getting anxious. It's disturbing your mental health. Because working in NHS is already hard, it's already difficult. But if the place is genuinely affecting your mental health, please leave and look for something else. Like, they're not gonna come and kill you because you want to leave. Even if you were there for a week, 2 weeks. I was at my job place for 2 months and I left.
And one thing I can say is you're gonna be replaced. Like they will actually replace you.
Because I was being replaced. Prioritize you, prioritize yourself, because if you yourself you're not good, your patients aren't going to be good too.
That's actually the move. That's actually the move.
Serious.
It's true. They always tell you that. It's like if you, like one nurse said to me, she was like, go for your break. I was like, I just need to feed my baby. And she was like, you need to feed yourself. I was like, she was like, someone else can do it for you. Just go. And
just
I'm like,
go to your break.
Yeah, because if you're not looking after yourself, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna forget things, and then that's what you're gonna fall back on.
Even if you remember your shift, like you were stressing as well because of that patient and so many medications to do for the patient, and then you didn't want to go for your morning break, and they were all shouting at you to go for your break. Nah.
And you know, going on break makes such a difference. I came up with the shift, and the rest of the shift was fine.
Yes.
I came up with break and I was like, let's just go on it now.
Yeah, man, literally. Nah. Would you ever? I have a question. Sorry, can I include it?
Yeah.
So, would you ever like want to work in private healthcare and completely leave the NHS?
No, I think if I would do that, I would work part private, part NHS. I don't think I feel like private is still short and stuff.
The only thing is more.
I think they're still short staffed as well.
Did you guys ever go into agency nursing?
Yeah, but not full time.
Not full time. Yeah. I feel like full time is quite risky because you're all over the place. And there isn't a set contract.
I think it depends though.
Is it?
I feel like if you're making enough money, if you're not working 1 week, you won't really make that much difference.
Because you've got the P's.
That just depends. You have to be fully like prepared. No, is it? Not prepared, like on it to book shifts, otherwise that's it.
You
won't get any money.
You won't be able.
That's the same like if you want to do like bank as well. If you're not booking it, that's it. You're just gonna be at home if you're not bothered.
I think my last question is for students and newly qualified nurses and people in their final year. Do you guys have any advice for them?
For newly qualified nurses, please have friends that are also nurses, I swear. Because if we don't have that, oh my lord, your friends that aren't doing nursing will not understand.
It doesn't even have to be nursing, midwifery, any healthcare.
Any healthcare.
As long as they're, all struggling together on placement.
Literally, and it helps as well. Like when you're on your shift as well, message your nursing friends like this is what's going on. You can kind of have a run and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. Also meet up as well. Don't just make your friendship just about work.
Yeah.
You need a breather. Do you know what I mean? Because even after this, we're going out to eat Nando's to catch
So she was.
No, I'm hungry.
It's also important, like even with your nursing friends, talk about other things.
Yeah.
Like don't obviously you can rant and they get what you're going through, but it's like make sure you do different things because then your whole life is just consumed. It's just too much.
Don't let your life be consumed in nursing. Learn from me because in terms of balancing out your social life and your working life, like even if like Raquel was saying, push through. For example, if you're working today and you've got like maybe 3 days off, the next day use that to rest. The other 2 days go out and do whatever you need to do. Don't just be staying at home throughout the whole 3 days. That's what I used to do as well. But with my next job, I'm gonna make sure that I'm, you know.
Please, hot
And students as well. I guess with assignments, just make sure you're managing your
Just
time.
start it early, man. Even if it's not the introduction. Like, the next month you'll be grateful. You'll be like,
Yeah, like as long as you're passing your part at work, they won't ask you what grade. They don't care. They don't give a heck. As long as you've got that pin, that's it. But obviously, if you want to do your masters or something like that, then cool. But even with masters as well,
someone's experience can.
Experience helps. So yeah.
I said that was the last question, but I have one last.
Don't worry, man.
Is there anything you would do differently if you were to mentor a student?
I feel
so
like
nice.
I don't know if you guys have been taking students and like because where I work we also take midwifery students and like so I've had a midwifery student and a student nurse and like I just feel like because we're so new, even though technically I shouldn't, like they tell you to wait longer before you take students so you can find your feet. But it's like, I've really enjoyed teaching and I feel like it kind of helps you think, you know, like actually know this.
Lecturer senior. I'm lecturer teacher senior.
No.
Yeah.
But like even like this one student, like the first ever student I had, like she came back to the unit to find me like on her last day, gave me a card and was like,
rewarding, man.
honestly, that made my day. Like I've kept it, I'm gonna use it for my revalidation.
Yes, girl.
Like just knowing like I don't know, it just makes you feel so good. I feel like it's as a student, sometimes like, it's good to be with like the really experienced nurses, but also being with a newly qualified nurse, you can relate to them. Like we know what it's like, so like fresh. Sometimes, but even sometimes it kind of motivates me to learn as well. Because like they ask me questions, I'm like, I'll be real with you, I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like
just be nice. I think.
I think
like just because people, some like nurses, whatever, some assessors was kind of mean to students, not to me, but in general. Randomly, you have to understand like that student, you don't know what's going on at home. I think sometimes they don't even try to understand their student, what's going on at home. Like, if that was me, like my student called in sick, I'm not gonna be like, oh, why am I here? That's 8 hours. You don't, there's something happening at home. Like, are you okay?
Like you can't just be like telling people off because it's not their job. Like it's so difficult if you're balancing, say like life, children, personal issues, assignments. Like if someone's not coming or someone, I don't know, they're sitting down and they might not be like as engaged, don't get at them. Be like, okay, what's wrong? Can I help you?
Speak to me, can I help you?
Because it's really not easy. It's like coming into a new environment every couple of months. Like,
and I feel like also we just have to be careful within our nursing career as well. Like the more we get into it, to not become those nurses. Because they could have been like us that time one day as well, complacent, and you don't care anymore. So I feel like it's just making sure that we don't fall into that trap as well, and just making sure that we're remembering where we came from. So I think it's also about being nice. And I remember when I was a student, I was quite timid as well. I was scared to like ask questions and stuff. So I feel like I would prompt my students to just like, and whilst prompting them, I wouldn't like be at it with them. If that makes sense. I guide them through it, because some nurses they'll be prompting, but the way that they're prompting you isn't nice. If that makes sense. So I can't wait to have students, man. They're gonna love me for real.
Oh yeah, I want to be that supervisor. I remember you.
Yes. And I know when you was on shift here, wasn't there like any nurse that you like, oh my gosh, I want to work with this nurse today?
I feel like definitely it makes a big impact on students. Like I'll always remember my professor from first year, my first ever placement, because he was so good. He was a good nurse and he actually really inspired me. So it's a thing where like, imagine that you actually make an impact to someone else as a qualified nurse.
It's rewarding. Like the job itself is rewarding, but that as well is like,
Rich, how many times?
I think as it is, on the other side, it is rewarding. Like when you have the patients going home and they're thanking you for the care.
When we have a nice shift, you're just like, wow, I
Wow,
feel like,
yeah.
yeah.
It warms your heart, like it's just like, you know, and then it kind of reminds you why you're doing this. And then something.
It makes you grateful as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like seeing I don't know, like especially being a peds nurse, like seeing all these like sick kids, sick babies, and like what the parents go, because it's like we're looking after our whole family. Like you have to take care of, it's a lot of like support we have to give, and it just makes you so grateful for like your health and like physical, mental, all of that. I think it really gives you a different perspective on life.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, make sure you're sharing, like, comment, whatever. Like, if you want another video, let her know.
And obviously follow Alex's YouTube channel as well. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.